do this.
We do. We're live. Episode 58.
Yes, I see that. 14 seconds. Yes, there we go.
Seconds. Look at us. We're all.
Now I'm getting 100,000 notifications saying that we're live.
We're live. That's good. That means it works.
That means it works.
I point it all towards you. That way you're like, wait a minute. Am I supposed to be somewhere? Let's go. 2020.
Mid-Geek rises.
Yeah. It's like strength and exhaustion in 2020.
Oh man, 2020. Here we are.
That's us in the new year.
Episode of the year. We are in the future.
Yeah, no.
My car started flying at midnight. Like it was just floating. That's what happened, right?
You know, I just want a robot that folds my clothes. Really, that's all I want.
Didn't we
And
get that?
universal basic income. That's right. I want two things.
You commie.
How dare you, sir?
Universal basic income. I'll take healthcare over income, honestly, because 3/4 of my income goes towards healthcare anyway. So.
Jesus Christ, yeah. No, that's ridiculous. All right.
We're live.
Yep.
Live. Oh my God, man, 2020. I just, it's weird saying it. Oh, someone told me at work, don't sign your checks with 20 at the end.
Why?
If you put your date as 20, someone can then cash it and then take it back out and then put 2019 at the end of it and then recash it.
How would they do that if it's so January 2019, they can cash a check?
Right.
A scam.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Rolls, would you settle for the draft? I'd crack a cold one open with the boys.
Oh my God.
Fight for World War III.
So yeah, first meme.
We shouldn't laugh. That's just horrible.
It's horrible. It's horrible. But all we can do is take laughter in. And first meme of 2020, I wasn't expecting World War III memes, but I, 2 days into 2020, and we were like, oh boy, and there was already some news that happened about an hour ago that doesn't bode well, and I'm not even going to talk about it because we're here in a happy place.
Let's talk about some games.
Some geekdom, 2020. How was your holiday, sir?
It was good. Good, very enjoyable. I was on vacation. I did some stuff. We fixed up our kids' room so that all of her stuff was in there up on the walls and things like that. She changed rooms. I don't know if you knew this. She changed rooms.
Oh, yeah?
And then we opened a ton of gifts. I played a lot with Calico Critters. I've been building Legos pretty much every day since Christmas. Yeah, got some neat toys for myself, which is always nice. And good times, good fun.
What'd you get? Tell me. Let's talk about
the
in typical kid geek fashion, we should talk about our hoard that we got.
I'm an old man, right? So I don't get the hoard, but I got the Descendants of Avernus D&D book, which I was excited for. I also got Xanathar's Guide to Everything, so I think I think I have all the D&D books now. I got also those spell cards. I showed you a picture.
You were showing me about it. And do you have pictures of what you were doing with them?
Oh, dude, you know what? Yeah, I can show you what I was doing with them.
So he was doing something pretty neat with them. So if you're not familiar, there's a spell card. Like, are they D&D official or are they?
Yeah, they're D&D official. They're the Gearforce 9 edition of the cards. So they'll have like the level on the back, and then this spell on the front. I don't know.
So you can hand those out as a deck, like
So if I have new players who don't want to go through the book or character sheets and things like that, I can hand them things and do that. So what I did, this is
does it have multiple copies of the same spell so that they
can so they're kind of made for a player to buy it for themselves. But with you at PAX East, it's not going to be hard because all of you pay the same class, different classes, pretty much.
Fair enough.
So for PAX East, I wanted to create spell books for everybody that plays wizard classes because. At PAX East annually, I do a D&D game for everyone that shows up. My two brothers, Joe, Jordan, friend of the show, other folks. So I took these Pokemon books you can order on Amazon. They just have 30 or so sleeves in them to put cards in. And I turned it into this is inspired by the internet, of course. a very nice spell book.
There you go. There you
Right.
go. And so you crack it open, and on the inside you've got your spells. So it's like a little
So
spell book.
it holds a bunch of spell cards in it, and my plan is actually to put some magical items and maybe like some quick stats up in front, so you can kind of like just have everything right in front of you in one book.
Jeez. I mean, it's so simple yet, not. Like you wouldn't think about it, but putting some crafting and some items together.
It's going to make it more of an experience, which is my intention for PAX East, since I only get to play with folks once a year. And I'll tell you what, my brothers talk about it for a while afterwards, and they love it, and you guys love it. So I wanted to make it a even bigger experience. Like I want people to walk by our table at PAX East and be like, "Holy cow, what's going on over there?" Right? That's kind of what the thing I want to put together.
We need to get you a hat, like a.
You know what? Maybe next year what we'll do is we'll hand out hats to everyone. You'll wear a barbarian hat. Someone will wear a wizard hat. We'll put a wizard hat in a Mar because that's kind of perfect.
Time. I mean, PAX East isn't happening. Oh my god, when is PAX East?
It's in like 8 weeks, dude. The hype train's gonna have to start boarding soon. But you got South first.
I need to buy a plane ticket, don't I?
Oh my god, it's at the end of February, dude.
Holy crap. Okay, fair enough. Let me. I'll be doing.
It's
that.
super early this year. I'm sort of surprised. I just got my vacation requested today, so.
Man,
yeah. It goes. Anyway, I've been doing some crafty stuff.
I got March, even April, but now it's at the end of February. That's man.
It's really early. It's like 3 weeks after South. Family capital wise, right? So
right.
Anyway, I'm excited for it. It should be fun. I've been talking to my brothers about it, trying to get that all sorted out. I'm sad we're not staying at the hotel, but I've been checking like once a week to see if one opens up. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, is anybody else going to PAX East? I don't know if anybody does the PAX East or game convention roles. If you're listening, do you do any gaming conventions? Have you ever done a game convention? Do you rock those out? They're good fun.
Yeah, I figured this episode's going to be slow. People aren't getting the notifications. We're starting the year off. Usually we've got more viewers at this point, but that's okay.
We've been off for 2 weeks.
Been off for 2 weeks.
It's on the bucket list. There you go. Hey, you know what? It was on mine, and PAX East was a great one. I hear that South and Unplugged are really good intro ones. Unplugged if you do tabletop stuff, but they're very good like sizes for people who can't do like Gen Con or San Diego Comic Con.
I'll be at PAX East.
South. You'll be at South.
South. I'll be at PAX East and South. I'll be at PAX South in 2 weeks. It'll be on.
That's crazy. Joe's a 2Con a year goer now. That's intense.
I'll tell you what, though, this year it's feeling I'm a little tight. I know that East is coming and South is so close to East this year, and at the same time, honestly, I've got hotel. But I don't even have tickets to PAX South yet.
Is that the hotel, but not the tickets?
Yeah, and that's because they haven't sold out. They're all available.
Yeah.
It's a slow cut, so I figured I'd push that to the
I
very.
should see what the flight is down there. Just go hit up PAX South. No. Dream. Oh, wake up, Pedro. Like you can afford 2 trips like that. So close together. Maybe like 4 months apart. I could, but not.
Well, yeah. I mean, the nice part with you is you hop into a car with somebody and drive down. So
PAX South, I think is in Austin. No, San Antonio.
San Antonio. Yeah. So I'll be driving. That's a 4.5 hour drive for me. From it's a longer drive this time around. So it's definitely going to be a trek.
And East is in Boston, and Unplugged is in Philly.
Yeah, it's in San Antonio. So PAX South is San Antonio, PAX East is Boston, PAX West is Seattle, and PAX Unplugged is Philadelphia.
And then there's PAX Australia, which
which is in Melbourne.
Has been canceled because of the fires.
Well, I mean,
too soon. I thought that was going to be the first meme of the year, and it turned out to be World War III.
I care more about that. Like it's been so sad. I've been seeing all the animals and whatnot. I'm like, oh god, the animals, and then I'm like,
so I watched Don't F with Cats. That internet. It's a documentary about some people who did terrible things to animals and were tracked down by internet nerds, and eventually it turned out that the guy was a serial killer. It's terrible.
Is it that YouTube guy?
He's the YouTube guy. Yes. So it's on Netflix. It's a documentary. It's 3 episodes. It's great. What up, Tim? But so you watch it and you kind of realize that people can watch like snuff films, but when it comes to like they're talking about this snuff film that this guy put on the web, and I guess at some point a dog is involved. Again, this is horrible. I should probably say, warning, not safe for work. The dog gets involved, and everyone cries and can't talk about it, and you pass that moment. Like like a person was killed just a moment ago, but the minute the animal gets involved, it's too emotional for anyone to deal with, which is I found to be amazing, right? Which is what is going on with Australia.
I don't know what
like
that says about humanity in general. Like,
we just care more about animals.
not even
They're
that.
helpless, right? They don't have a
Helpless, right?
choice.
Like, they have no choice. All they do is love. Like all they do, right? Like
I have cats. I don't
well,
know. You've got a big old spoiled floof. That
yeah, I do.
Of
Big
course,
spoiled floof,
you
so.
spoil the hell out of it. So of course, all she does is love you.
Holidays for me, man. The kiddos got a bunch of stuff, Nerf guns.
So they got like swords they can beat each other with.
Yeah, they got this. So one of the requested gifts from my youngest was this thing called Dojo Battle, and I had to look it up, and it's like laser tag but with swords. They put on a vest, and it's got like a sensor, and you can hit the sensor with your hand, and it won't go off. But the parts of the sword have a sensor, so you can swipe and you hit them across the chest, and boop, it beats. And you have 3 little lights that light up, and so that's all it is. It's
I tell you what, I mean, we had sensors too. It was like when we beat each other with sticks.
and then holding your hand over, like, don't cry, mom's gonna find out.
Sorry, you can have my dessert. Shh. I mean, what do you need a belt for to get beat with a sword? How quickly did like one of them start crying? Did they do a pretty good job of only hitting the sensor?
Good. They've been pretty good about it. Although there was a Nerf dart to the face early on, and there was definitely an
Did we? You know what, Rolls? A lot of us did not. I think a lot of us did not survive childhood. We've got scars.
Hashtag lawn darts.
And I mean, there you go.
Oh, yeah, you go.
So yeah, we beat the hell out of each other and shot each other in the eye with Nerf darts. So that's awesome. That's fantastic.
Video games. What'd you get?
I didn't get any video games. I got a Nintendo Switch.
There you go.
And then I signed up for the old school console, the old Nintendo console pass, whatever it is.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So that's what we've been playing a lot of.
Nintendo Classic bundle, so you get like 20 games for each one.
Yeah, so basically I got like a trip down nostalgic lane. We've been playing Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, and Super Mario Brothers 3. We've just been playing that nonstop. I loaded up Minecraft on it, but she started playing it and she immediately wanted to play it back on the Xbox, right? Because she's just used to the controls on the Xbox. So yeah. So I'm like,
is it the handheld that she can't deal with, or is it the fact that she doesn't have like a pro controller?
It's I don't know. It's the fact that my child like me is never happy.
Fair enough.
That's pretty much. I feel bad sometimes when I see her struggling with that, where she's like, "This brings me no joy, Daddy," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's the curse. That's the sad curse." She got a lot of physical toys to play.
Yeah,
with, but she's been
video games are not the toy here at the household for us for the Christmas holidays. I know it would be for most people, but we get video games all year.
Yeah,
being gamers and just we're playing video games all the time, and so the hottest game was bought day one at this household. Like I can't imagine like buying like the game that came out in the fall and like making it the holiday gift under the tree. I'm like, that's weird to me. I mean, and the reason for that is because I never got the games, right?
Right.
Like when I was a kid, I never got.
And you have the privilege now to eat the marshmallow right away. You don't
right. Now I'm gonna.
You know, with that marshmallow, what are you saving that marshmallow for?
I'll buy more marshmallows. I'll buy all the goddamn marshmallows. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. So
it's good.
Yeah, so I live a life of privilege. I feel happy, and I can give my kids all the games. So for Christmas, they don't get games. They get physical toys. So we got board games. We picked up what is it? Shadows in the Woods.
Shadows in the Forest.
Shadows in the Forest. Thank you.
I'm looking over there. Yep, Shadows in the Forest.
Oh my god! And let me tell you, we've played that game multiple times already, and it's fun. Now, I will say, I don't know if I haven't looked online. I'm sure that there's groups and stuff that have either done mods or like fixes or whatever. How do you deal with, because my kid likes to min-max, right? Like they're pretty good about that. And the light, the lantern is very like fuzzy, but like if I pull up my phone and turn on the LED and kind of flash it in the direction, you get sharp shadows. So you're able to like go, okay, you're not in the shadow, you are in the shadow. Like, because it's
a big game of cheating and negotiation, right? That's what it's about. It's about saying, I'm That's all it is.
So if you guys are familiar, we've talked about this game before. We talked about it many months ago, and it's Shadows in the Forest. And I posted pictures of it. And the board game is very simple. It's a path around, and then path through, and then cardboard trees, and then one person plays the seeker. It's like a hide and seek game, and all you are a lantern, and the lantern is a little arrow on the top, and basically it tells you which direction you're moving at the time. And then everyone else, up to 7 players, are these shadowlings. And they don't play a single shadowling. They play a group, as a collective group. So you can play with 3, 4, 5, etc. And so here we go. So this is one light, and then and these shadows. So the shadowlings are hiding in the shadows. And so the idea is, let's say right here, right behind that tree, right in front, there is a shadowling back there. That one's safe, but if the light touches it, it's frozen. The moment it's touched, you take its mask off, and the idea is the seeker wants to find all of the shadowlings.
It's just hide and seek with light, but you get to play in the dark, which is the cool thing for kids.
You turn off all the lights in the house, you turn on the lantern, and then boom, you play. And so at first you're like, okay, and then all of a sudden your eyes adjust, and everything gets darker, and the shadows get more, specific, like you can really like point them out. And then it gets to the point where you're like figuring out, well, how far do the shadows go? Where
That's part of the fun of it, though, right? So now the longer you play, the easier it is for you to recognize where the little trollkins are, or whatever they're called, the little goblinkin are.
Yeah, the shadowlings,
the shadowlings, and then you just play from there. I play a very specific where if the light shines on the eyes, you can sort of see a little reflection. The eyes look a little tiny bit brighter. So we play that way. But you know what? It's 15 minutes of taking the game seriously, and then 20 minutes of my daughter laughing as she cheats her face off. Like, just cheats
right. So in the rules, like if you were to play specific with the rules say there's no jumping involved. Yep. So the idea is you're supposed to keep the shadowling on the ground and slide them. And obviously, if there's light, you can't slide through the light. The moment, even during movement, if the light touches you, you're supposed to freeze.
Yep.
Like no one does that.
So I listen and I go, it sounds like that shadowling took a big jump there, and then I hear a giggle, and I know she's cheating, right? But that's part of it's exploring how to cheat in a game safely and things like that, which is important for kids to learn. They need the space to know when it's okay to cheat and when it's not, because we're all going to play that way eventually, and we should know when's it not okay. So that's really the game. Plus, like, she really enjoys the idea of sitting in the dark and pulling one over on Daddy's eyes. Right, that's the important part.
That was the big one.
And I'm always like, oh my god, you got to really over exaggerate the cheating.
What's the strategy to the game that I found early on was.
Yes, so, look at Rolls. Rolls is like, bring it back to video games.
It's never okay to pick Odd Job. Let's put that out there. Rolls, you should feel bad. You should feel bad for picking it. just letting you know. Oh man,
that's a very specific reference, right? To the Odd Job one. You got to really have played the hell out of GoldenEye to understand, and multiplayer GoldenEye to understand. Which means you need like 3 friends willing to have played. I love it.
I will say there was one holiday treat that came, and I guess I can make this a kind of impromptu,
While he's looking that up, we actually got the board game Outfoxed, which is a cooperative detective game. Super fun. They give you a couple foxes that are suspects in a crime, which is they stole pie, and you're all chicken detectives, and you go around the board collecting clues, and they have this little decoder box that the clues sort of eventually reveal, and it's just a deduction game. So my daughter liked the idea of being like, oh, we know the suspect is wearing a hat, so you eliminate all the foxes that are not wearing hats and things like that. Very cool game, Joe, if you get the chance to pick it up. Outfoxed. Very, very neat.
Okay, and I ended up picking this up, which is pretty neat. It is, again, more of my retro. This
is it like a GameCube controller? What is this?
N64 controller. without the 3 prongs, because you need 3 hands to hold the N64 controller.
Right. Two friends.
What's fantastic is this is done by Hyperkin, which doesn't always make the best products. They're hit or miss. It's like either they're good or they're crap. And this is fantastic. I'm always looking for.
Wait. So I want to take a step back for a second. So this company is either good or crap,
right?
And you went out and bought one of their items.
So I waited. I waited a few weeks.
You waited until some other suckers bought the item and reviewed it.
You can tell when something is going to be good or crap by them when it's the type of product that, like, if this was a product that they decided to put some R&D time into, you can tell it's going to be good. But if they're just making something like that everyone else has already made, it can be crap. Not always. A good example is Hyperkin is known for a lot of the weird retro accessories. Like they'll make like N60 like controllers for old systems like Super Nintendo or Genesis. You go to Hyperkin or pick up, you need a cable for your old Super Nintendo. You can Hyperkin brand, and they're okay. They're not the best, they're not the worst. They're just do the job at a price that you're not going to pay exorbitant amount.
Got it.
So Hyperkin would be like the third party of the yesteryear. Like if you're going to pick up a Mad Catz controller back in the day. Only the problem is Nintendo doesn't make first party controllers anymore. So Hyperkin is still better than even some Chinese companies. So it's like it's like an in between. It's weird. Anyway, Hyperkin. This definitely was one of those things that they announced last year at CES, and it took almost a year to come out, which is a nice wireless Bluetooth N64 controller.
It was real nice.
Which is nice because, again, my setup, I've got a big TV. I don't like the cord running. I do have extension cords for my N64.
You have 2 kids that are just going to trip over it all the time.
Right. So this one, it allows me good wireless controller, and it's based off of a specific controller made by Hiyori back in the day, which was called like the mini pad, which didn't have that third prong. It was a little smaller, but a better D-pad. It's just a nicer feel, and it's been great. I've been able to play, Mario Kart.
It's a nice looking controller. Buttons are in a good spot. I worry about
something white and black.
That thumb spread to button B will mess me up. I think that's a real long reach, but otherwise,
right. I want to pull up a picture of the
mothership. Are you pulling up a real controller?
Where'd it go? No. So it comes with a So this is the wireless dongle. It's a little big, but that's because it fits the memory pack. Since on the back it doesn't have it anymore. There's no spot to put the memory pack. If you remember the N64 controller, it was big and bulky, and it had the big plug in the bottom.
Yeah.
This allows you to put the memory pack here. But one of the cool features on this thing was
so that's actually plugged into the box.
Plugs into the N64. Yeah, this right here, you plug in your memory. It tells you in the instructions. I think it's funny. Do not plug in the rumble pack on here, as it will shake your N64. Because it'll plug in, but the rumble pack is physically attached to the console, so the entire console will shake.
So they have to like warn people not to put the rumble pack inside that.
But the cool thing is, there's not too many games that take the memory pack. Like a good example is like Ocarina of Time doesn't. It saves it on the cart. But there were some games that required the memory pack. Not everyone had one, but there were some games. What's nice about it is the games that do. Right here next to it, if you look right here to the side, that's an SD card slot.
Oh, so you never have to plug anything in there again.
Oh no, you plug the SD card slot and you can copy your memory card's saves, your old saves off of your old memory card onto the SD card and back them up, or you can take them into an editor. You can bring them over to an emulator. There's just you now have the option of transferring over your saves and backing them up. Let's say you've got an old save for an old game that you really like, and you never know what's going to happen. That memory card could lose. So throw it on your
so that in 150 years, our future descendants can play the N64 save that you saved with P3 and 1S as the name, right?
Right. A good example here would be, I think, a GoldenEye used a memory pack. And so we were talking about GoldenEye, and there you go. You want to create a save that has all your, has all
the golden guns. You need all those golden guns.
All the hacks installed on it. You just throw it on the SD card, throw it back on the cart, and you're good to go. It's pretty neat.
Amazing.
So yeah, that was one of the things that I picked up.
This was our retro game review portion of the 2020 Mid-Geek crisis.
There we go.
Yeah, it's great because I thinking about. I'm like, this is something Joe really loves and is passionate about. Why don't we talk about retro games more? Right, that's your jam. So, and clearly our audience love it. Rolls knows GoldenEye. He'll probably house us on a map nowadays, right? Because I don't remember the maps that well.
Yeah.
I remember there was a lot of secret passages you can hide down and shoot people up like Perfect Dark style.
It is Bluetooth as well, so it doesn't just hook up to that dongle. You can actually sync it to the Switch.
Wow.
Which is weird because not every game would work well with like an N64 style controller, but what it does work well with is the new Turok port.
GoldenEye Deathmatch.
There you go.
We go to the console area. Let's do it, man. I'll sponsor that tournament in a second.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
People lining up to kick our ass in GoldenEye.
All right,
looking at the screen. That's part of the game.
About some of these stories that have happened since we've been gone, and a lot of them, the holiday lull happens, but CES is going on right now, and
sorry.
CES is happening right now, and there's always things that get announced, weird things. And one of them was, I don't know if you saw that Alienware announced. So they've been talking about this for a while, and man, I know Nintendo gets a lot of flack, right? Like everyone always gives them crap for like the weirdness, but then everyone copies them. Back when the Wii was around,
only when it's successful weirdness, dude. Come on.
Right. So like when N64,
nobody copied the Wii U.
Yeah, I guess, sort of, maybe. Well, remember? No, you're wrong. Remember early on in the the Xbox One and the PS4, everything was like, oh, connect your smartphone, and you can like use it as a second screen.
Well, okay, so talking about it's not copying it. Like literally, one game had to connect the smartphone.
Games. It was like
that was the big announcement for Division. I remember being like, "Wow, someone can play on their iPad in Division. You could play I guess the drone or the intelligence officer or whatever." And then boom, who cared? That was gone by the next convention.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Let's talk about this Alien Portable. What are they calling it?
Oh man, it is. It's
like a UFO. What is it?
They call it the Concept UFO.
Concept UFO.
There it is. It's a Switch, guys. Like those sides disconnect. Like it is straight up, and it's ugly. I don't know what to call that shape. I guess it's an octagon. 1, 2, 6.
It's got a lot of corners. It's got a lot of corners.
Eight-sided octagon looking thing with
Barris showing that off there. That's a terrible picture.
The screen is like a trapezoid. Go back up to the screen real quick. So right there, look, like the outer, like it's not even like a clear bezel. It's like a trapezoid, but then you've got a square. It's an octagon with a trapezoid.
Is this the poorly laid like Photoshop? Is this like a poorly laid? Like,
that was on hand. Like
that's how his screen looked. I assume that was like a concept picture, but you're right. It is like a trapezoid.
It's a trapezoid with a square with a rectangle on the inside. Is
that comfortable? Oh my god, is that the way it looks when the two controllers are plugged into each other?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's also got a little dock to make it a controller, just like the Switch does. I don't understand.
Hey, I mean, if it works, look, they don't understand either. If it works, though, why not copy it, right?
Look, I get it. It's a full PC. You can play PC games. Sure. I mean, I don't know, man.
I got the Switch now, and I've got no interest in putting Civilization 6 on it. Like, it's just the screen so small. I'm so used to using the keyboard to play. I can't imagine playing my PC games on these little tiny console windows. The kind of games I play, the kind of games I play. The only game I play on the PC is Civilization.
So my suggestion, since Cautious just picked up a Switch, my suggestions for games. There's lots of games I could say, hey, go pick up. But I think one of the first games you should pick up. It's probably on sale. You can pick it up all over the place. And one that I think you would enjoy is what is it? Mario Rabbids. So
I saw that, yes, and it's almost always on sale.
It's almost always on sale. You should pick it up. I know you're a big fan of XCOM.
I am.
And it's Mario XCOM. It's so good.
Go on.
Yeah. It's Mario XCOM. So,
am I investing in plasma rifles to blast rabbits as Mario? That doesn't make sense.
There are guns and weapons. Everyone has a blaster, including Mario.
So, XCOM, but a blaster.
Ubisoft made this game, and it's totally an XCOM like style game. And man, it's the rabbits mix. It's a completely weird. Let me see if I can find a good.
$50 cheaper than the Switch. They did not announce. No, this is like way too soon to offer price. I think, right? Way too soon.
Did they announce a price on it? If no, it won't be, man. Like it's too soon. It's still concept. They're calling it concept UFO. There's no way they're gonna get that thing at $300. That's gonna be like a $500 handheld because they're gonna drop like an i5 to an i7 handheld. It'll have like a NVIDIA it'll have an NVIDIA like a 1060 or a 2060, maybe something that runs mobile. It'll be a laptop.
Why announce it?
It's CES is all about like showing off what your tech can do. I mean, Lenovo had like foldable laptops this year, like laptops that fold with the screen, and none of that stuff ever really comes out, but it's all about like where our tech is going. And
where is the robot that will fold my laundry? Make it app enabled. That would be fine by me. Like, let's just do that.
Yeah, so
2020, I'm tired of doing chores. I don't know about everyone else. I was promised robots that would do chores and robot cars that would fly me to work and all that cool stuff.
So this was the official trailer.
Wow, aliens. So yeah, these like rabbits. I mean, they're intolerable. They make stupid sounds.
They do, but
oh, geez.
There's cover. You move stuff around. You do slides. You do moves to like.
Wait, is this turn-based?
It's turn-based.
Maybe I'll put it up. Maybe R would enjoy watching it play. Yeah, I see that. This is ludicrous. Oh, and you're working together as a team.
You've got a couple rabbits, a couple of characters, and you're fighting some evil rabbits, and they back and forth and weapons, and everyone joins up. Everyone's got freaking blasters. It's freaking nuts. It is the wackiest game, and Miyamoto loved it when it was shown. Ubisoft like basically remodeled Mario and Luigi. It's got a great story. You should look up the story on the developer. The developer cried because Miyamoto liked it so much because he went off the reservoir. Like, this is a third-party company, and he made his own. He modeled Mario because Miyamoto was like, "Where did you get this Mario model?" And they're like, "We remodeled him." And they were like, "Ooh." And so they were so proud of his like style that they were like, "Here you go." When they let him have Mario, which no one has ever had.
Wow, that's impressive.
And it's a fantastic game. It's got a great little story. The developer has got like emotional, like everyone. But it's an older game now. I mean, look, 3 years old now.
Yeah. It's crazy to think the Switch is that old too. It seems like such a new system there.
Yeah, but that's a fantastic game. I can't recommend that one enough. And that's first time I play that, I'm like, doesn't Pedro like XCOM? He should.
I need 5 cheap couch play games. That's what I need. Like, and cheap is like $20-$25 at most. Because I got 4 Joy-Cons. I'm ready to rock and roll to like get the whole family playing, and plus one more. So that's what I need. That's the list I need to get 4-player games on there.
You need the Mario Kart. You need the Mario
Kart's still like $70.
They're expensive, but you can find them on sale.
What the hell? It's been out for like 10 years.
It's a system seller, man. People love it.
Yeah, no, I see. Mario Kart's super expensive. Mario Kart is on the list, of course. It's just,
All right. So another big thing at CES. Another big thing. So right before the holiday,
we dabs. You use dabs in the game? Is that?
Yeah, he does. He does. Yeah, he does. He dabs on Mario Kart, I think, right? Yeah, Mario Kart 8. He does do a
10. Welcome, Sakura, please. Thanks for joining.
So again, before the holidays happened, we had the big announcement at the Game Awards, and we got Xbox, which we've had clarification. The name of the system is just Xbox. It's not Xbox Series X. It's Xbox.
I was really hoping it was Xbox Box.
Xbox Box Series Xbox.
Xbox Box.
It's called Xbox. So they decided to just scratch it, and so it looks like we're gonna have multiple Xbox, and this is the Series X, is what they're calling it. It's like a model number more than anything.
It's like the iPhone.
But they dropped it. Like, they were like, "Here it is. Here's what it looks like. This is gameplay in engine, whatever." So Sony came back last night, and was like, "Hey, we're gonna freaking show you what's going on, what we got going." And at CES,
do they have a bigger box? Can you put the Xbox inside the PlayStation box?
They decided to, and again, I've got to open it in a separate tab because I want to make sure that everyone sees this.
He's got to close all of his not safe for work tabs.
Right. So, That was our announcement. That's the official logo.
What? That's it? That's the whole.
They got on stage and was like, "Here's the logo."
Oh, excellent.
I can't even make that up. Like that was it. They went on stage. They had all this other. They were showing off all these TVs and whatnot. They're at CES. Here we go. You're not gonna. I mean, obviously E3 is a good place, but they're like, here we go. We're gonna rebuttal with the Xbox. You know, maybe show us a quick picture. Show something. No, they're like, yes, this is the official logo.
Did they at least give the bong sound to the PlayStation?
No.
Oh man.
No. Oh man, they were like not even trying.
No company on the planet can derail a hype train like Sony can. Dude, they are so good at it. They're like,
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I get it. Oh, man,
are you excited for our system? Well, we're gonna fix that very quickly for you.
It's like boom. That's all they did.
We got something for it. Oh, look at that.
5. Yeah, it's totally like the weirdest thing. Like, and also,
was it sort of their way of saying like our 5 is bigger than 4, unlike the Xbox, which is just not. They're just going to stay with the Xbox name.
I don't know. It's Sony is cocky Sony again. I've talked about the like modes of like thought that they've got. They were cocky after the PS2, and then they came out with the PS3, and they were like, attack the enemy crab and the, Ridge Racers, $5.99, and they were like, and then no one was like, what? And then they came out humble for the PlayStation 4. They're like, oh, well, ours can play games, and here it is, $2.99, and totally like came out as the underdog, and now they're just like more of the same.
More of the same.
You already like it.
Did you like what we had before? You'll like this.
You'll like this.
Just throw the money at the screen. I love it.
You know what would have been even a bigger like, just like whip it out, and like drop it on the table kind of thing. If they had put up the 5 logo and went like, no, 6. We're skipping 5 just out of nowhere.
Like the Blade commercials, like the can we fit 6 blades on
bigger than whatever the other guy has? So it's pretty much it's like an extra blade.
It's like an extra blade. That is amazing. Well done.
I mean, like Sony, that was it. That was their big thing. I was so like, really, man? Like you're on the big stage?
You're so underwhelmed. So very underwhelmed.
Other news that came out today. It's I woke up to this. I was kind of sad, and I know I was talking to this pre-show with Pedro, and he was like, "Who?" Because this isn't his type of game. But I mean, I'm sure some people on here are, but it is about a topic that we've been talking about before. And
well, rolls up there because this one made me chuckle.
Oh my god! Isn't there a
there's a 5? We got 5. PlayStation 5.
Isn't there a meme video where they're like, no, we don't like it, and then they make a small change, and they're like, oh. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. So yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. They're like, yes, 5. That you're right, man. That's what they have, and they were like,
my man, well done, well done.
That guy earned it. So we've talked about China, and one of my favorite companies of previous gens, Xbox 360, and now has been Platinum Games. They've released some pretty fun games, and Platinum goes into business with Tencent, which is kind of a weird one, man. Like, they're a Japanese company, and China, Japan, like, just there's some weirdness going on there. They said that they're doing it because they're trying to go towards self-publishing as opposed to going through other companies to publish because they are a developer, so they need the money. But we can't argue that there isn't some sort of say that Tencent gets.
I find it so crazy that anyone will go into business with these companies, considering what happened to Blizzard, right? Like, not that Blizzard went out of business by any means, but just they took a lot of hits. They took some bruises. Their reputation is tarnished. And Platinum Games has a pretty good reputation, from what you told me, right? I'm like, Bayonetta? That's the only game I remember.
Bayonetta, Nier
Automata, which I didn't even know was theirs. I just knew it looks very pretty.
Yeah, they developed it for. So that's the thing, right? They've been developing games for other companies. They developed Wonderful 101. They're developing Bayonetta 3 for Nintendo. I mean, they've got all of these like workings with other companies, but they're never themselves. They're not like Platinum Games for Platinum on all consoles. You know, it's rare that they do that. And when they have done that, it's cost them money. So one of my favorite games is the Bayonetta series, and then the Vanquish, which is a fantastic kind of a third-person shooter game. It's a very action, they're very good at
like
showing
shooter.
What's that?
Like over the shoulder?
No, yeah, like a right. It's over the shoulder. So it's the game is kind of like a mech. You've got like a power mech suit on that boosts your like enhance. You've got like jets, and you can like slide around and power slide, and you're shooting. And
so Anthem,
way before Anthem, but yeah. Yeah.
Would you be able to tell? No, I'm sorry, Anthem. Sorry. 2020, I'm a new person. I shouldn't pick on you anymore.
Which Vanquish is getting a re-release, but you've seen it. I mean, you definitely seen Vanquish. It's one of those games that it's been out for forever. People have seen it in motion, and here we go. I think. So it's very anime-esque, Japanese-esque.
Yeah, I've seen this.
See if we've got some power sliding movements. It's I think I'm set to 4K. So everything's very fast, very fluid.
Oh, it's like that Warcry. What is that? What the game called with this
Warframe in a way?
Warframe. That's it.
It's like Gears of War in anime. It's kind of the best way to put it.
Oh, it's pretty cool looking. What's up, y'all? What's up, Kendo? Thanks for joining.
See, look at that sliding.
We're watching an homage to Platinum Games. As now they're owned by Tencent. Well, now they are working with Tencent. They're not owned by Tencent. They are working with Tencent.
Well, I guess when anyone gives you money, right, it's kind of like the mob, right? Like if you take money from the mob, they might not own you, but they own you.
They're gonna get something in return. No one gives you nothing. Something.
So it's sad to see that. Yeah, man, I can't. I don't like it. I don't like it. But yeah, I mean, there hasn't been a lot. I mean, can you think of anything that's happened? That's happened in the past?
Like Xenoblade X with guns. That's a good. Yeah, that's what I was trying to pry out of my brain, and that's right on there.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything else. Yeah, pretty much. Nobody's buying your games. Yeah, pay me. That's right. That's exactly it.
It's and it continues that sort of consolidation of games, right? You get it's like EA. You're going to get this sort of business model where all these companies are going to go the same way to get the same amount of money, right? But there's a lot of space for developers nowadays. I mean, everyone could be a developer with a couple years of coding under their belt, right? So yeah, it's a golden age of games. So games might put something out great. They might not. Who knows? We'll see.
I mean, we'll see. I'm always going to know now. I mean, just like I won't touch anything League of Legends. There's certain companies that I'm just always like ambivalent now that I know that they're touched. There's some Tencent blood in it. So it makes me weary about it. Tail end of the show. I want to talk about The Witcher.
The Witcher.
And this is something
you actually coin to the Netflix, right? Is that
first time in like a year that I watched something and then you're watching something? Like,
oh god.
Right?
Why is that the case? It's because I don't watch anything you're watching out of spite, right? That's really what it comes down to.
Right. Yeah, Kendall. That's the type of gameplay you've got. You can kick, you can shoot, you can bounce off. You're like, it's just a
Warframe has something like that. I don't know if you could do it in slow motion. I don't remember if Warframe ever added that sort of bullet time thing. But Warframe was pretty cool that way as well. If you really mastered the box skill set, it was just too much of a grind to figure out how to play.
Right. Yeah, that's a grind game.
Witcher, however, is not. Although I'm watching it slowly, my partner is not really into it, so I watch it in between episodes. In between episodes of shows we're watching together.
So that's funny because mine wasn't either. The first episode turned her off with some things, which is I understand. The first episode was rough, but then after that, it's not so rough. But that first episode kind of sets the tone for the show. Which, anywho, I digress. What didn't she like about it? Like, what was her?
I assume it was the same things that yours did not like. It was a real princess in distress thing, and not quite. Ladies as objects kind of presentation in the very first episode. It was also overly convoluted, super confusing. Like, it was clear that there was timelines, spoilers, that they're messing around with, right? So
it wasn't for me until about the third episode. I didn't understand that until about the third episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
all right. So they mentioned in the very first episode, and if you haven't watched it and you're listening to us, I apologize. I don't care about spoilers.
I care about spoilers. It's a show it's all out there already.
It's all out there. Go watch the first episode at least. So in the first episode, they have the sort of timeline jumps in that at one point, one of the characters mentions, "Oh, so and so, she just won her first battle." And then later you hear that woman who won the battle is much older, and she mentions, "Oh, when I won that battle, the stories were exaggerated," or something to that effect. The clue is right there in the very first episode. They're playing around with the timeline, so I was like, "Oh, okay." And then the second episode seals it when you see the Witcher in a completely different suit of armor, right? Because his armor in the first episode is so goofy looking. So now you've got the suits of armor that you can kind of watch and figure out where in the timeline. It looks like one looks like cosplay and one looks a little better, right? That's the kind of budget we're looking at for Witcher. I'm enjoying it. I'm a big fan of fantasy in general, and I can endure a show longer than I probably should, right? I could tell this is one of those shows that you have to watch 5 or 6 episodes to get into. And I'm 3 episodes in. I'm like, oh, okay, I get this. You got to just invest a lot of time. A lot of people aren't like that, so why bother, right? There's enough shows on the planet. Why bother investing 5 episodes into it just to enjoy?
This was Netflix's answer to the onslaught that was Disney Plus over the holiday. Disney Plus came out strong end of October, and just kind of dominated The Mandalorian, all these shows. And The Mandalorian ended right on the week of Christmas, with its eighth episode. And Netflix launched The Witcher right during the holidays, like right at the tail end, same week, that Friday, boom, it dropped it. And just shot up. Like everyone just went back to Netflix because they were done with Mandalorian. So
I mean, they could have not been done with Mandalorian. I actually watched the last episode of Mandalorian after I watched.
I haven't watched the last one yet.
You haven't watched the last episode? All right, I'll try not to spoil it for you. It's good. It's good. Honestly, I think it's one of the weaker, just because it requires you to have in-depth knowledge of the Star Wars universe.
Interesting. Okay.
In a way that I didn't even have. Right, I had to look stuff up to understand what was going on. But it's good. I've turned on Disney Plus for a few Pixar movies since, but I haven't really been.
Yeah, they're not. I realize that
they're not Netflix.
They're not Netflix, and not only are they not Netflix, they're not. They haven't dropped.
Yeah. Okay. This is exactly what I was saying, Rose. That I feel like we switched to Disney and HBO, and now you're like, well, what do I watch now? Do I watch Ballers with do I watch Ballers and Watchmen? That's over too, right? Isn't Watchmen's over?
It's over. So I've talked about this before. I get HBO for free with my carrier with my
right. So you finagled a bunch of different plans.
But what was nice is I finished The Witcher and I was on like a dark high. I'm not usually The Witcher wasn't dark. It has some dark moments, but there was definitely some like darker fantasy towards it, and it's got adult themes. And so I decided to jump into The Watchmen. Everyone at work was like, "Oh, you gotta watch Watchmen. You gotta watch Watchmen." I'm like, I'm a big DC guy. I should totally be watching The Watchmen. Let me go ahead and watch it now that it's over. And I watched the first episode, and it's good, but man, I had to walk away. I had to
it's too dark. Like, oh, I'm into some dark. Oh, too dark.
But now that I've got it loaded, I hadn't even loaded the app on like my.
Bros, that's the way I feel about it. A lot of people are making jokes about like Netflix and chill, Disney Plus and whatever. It's not really. It's about watching movies that I want to watch with my kid. It really. Yeah, I don't see the appeal for adults beyond Mandalorian.
I'm going to keep it for my kids. I think they need to hit their stride. They just came out. They didn't have it. The Mandalorian was definitely their strongest. Like
that was the subscription getter.
How
do they keep it?
How do they keep it? And I think they're hoping that their back catalog, and they just need to add more to their back catalog. They still have a lot of shows that they haven't added. And if you are willing to if you're wanting to watch a lot of the old shows again, like if you want to sit down and like, I'm going to binge all of Gargoyles, I'm going to binge all of the, DuckTales, I'm going to binge, then it's content for you. But if you're not going to do that and you're looking for just new original content, they don't have it
Not
yet.
there.
It's not there
Even
yet.
in fact,
Netflix didn't have it
so
either.
I wanted to watch National Treasure. That's in the Disney Plus app.
It is.
No, it's not, because Netflix has it to the end of the year. But it's one of the, like, there's so many movies there that when you pick them, it's like, oh, it's not here yet. Come back in April or come back in October. And I'm like, why is this? This is like the Amazon Prime menu where I have to buy the damn thing. Don't even offer it.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So if there's like,
so they actually show the movie there.
They show the movie there as an option, and when you click it to watch it, it comes up and it tells you on the Xbox app, at least that's where I watch my TV shows. It tells you, oh, this isn't available due to contractual obligations. Contractual obligations, as if Disney wasn't made, as if the movies were stolen from them.
I know, right? They were like, we made a good deal. We made a deal with somebody, and now we realize that we
what a bad deal.
Deal. No, yeah.
Write a letter to your congressman about National Treasure being on Netflix. Yeah, and Prime Video, I don't watch Prime Video because it's aggravating as hell. You never know what's available and what's not. It's a garbage interface. The only thing I've watched on there is The Expanse. Like literally, The Expanse is the best thing Amazon Prime has.
We use Amazon just for BritBox.
Oh God.
Because we watch British shows. We watch a lot of British
shows. Sure, yeah.
Box is an add-on, and it's cheaper on Amazon as an add-on. So it's like $2 or something like that. So you turn that one on, and then that gives you BritBox, which then gives us Midsummer Murders, the newest season, and whatnot. So we watch a lot of older.
No, that's
British.
fair. That's fair. Jeff Bezos still gets your money, though.
But he gets it. He gets my money because I pay him for Prime, and I totally like.
He loses money on us. I know. I was like, yesterday I ordered a $4 thing, and I'm like, wow, this is coming. And then like it got here in a day, and I'm like, man, Jeff Bezos did not make any money on that.
And let me tell you,
we could probably put him out of business if everyone got together and just ordered a ton of $4 items.
Dude, I did it
like protests against Amazon
for a project. I needed a cable, and it was like $4, and so it got.
And you're
here.
like 2-day shipping, great, awesome.
It was like, get it same day for free if you spend this much. And I'm like, I had some dog treats I needed to order and some other things. So yeah, he got more money out of me, but like I was going to order that stuff anyway. It was the household stuff. And because of that, as soon as I hit that $30 mark, everything came for free the same day. And I was like, well, there you go. You just have to pay someone.
Yeah. So Rose is talking about Disney Plus, right? $7 a month. It's tough to be economic. Yeah. I mean, I think Disney has a ton of money, and they could pull like a Walmart or an Amazon strategy where they don't make money on Disney Plus, but they go to put everyone else out of business. Because eventually there's going to be so many subscriptions that people like me are going to make a choice, right? They're going to say, I'm going to drop Hulu Plus and Amazon Prime maybe, and I'm going to pick up Disney Plus.
You can bundle Hulu Plus with Disney.
You know what I mean? I'm just don't pick things to pick at it. Yeah, but I drop Netflix. Jeff Execulia. Exactly. Yeah. No, Amazon, there's everyone who's gotten Prime is probably not turning back. The trick is to still be a student or associated with a college and get those free years as many as you can.
Oh my God. Yeah. I got to set that on the calendar when that's going to pull out, because I'm going to be like, oh, $120 out of nowhere. What? Why? And like, yeah, that's Jeff's pay.
You're going to be like, who do I know that's a student that I can steal their ID? How do I socially engineer my way out of this $120?
I've been a student for like 20 years. Like, what's going on here?
Why did she stop? No. Maybe I'll be like, oh, maybe I'll go back to school for $120,000 a year to save $120, right? Maybe.
No one pays that $120,000 back anyway, right? That's the way it works. Yeah. So again, The Witcher. If you haven't watched it, watch it. I enjoyed it. I finished it.
It was enjoyable.
I did not play the games, but what it did do, and this is again as a geek, what it did do is it made me want to read the books.
Have you picked them up?
So I had 6 credits on my Audible account, and I hopped in and was like, bought the first 3. I went online and looked at like what I should read first to kind of get through it, and Blood and Elves and whatnot. And I picked that one up, and it's like a short story compilation that kind of gets you started in the world. And I picked it up and I started listening to it. It's good. I'm enjoying it.
Is it? How do I phrase this? Is it too European?
I can't tell yet.
All right.
The show is definitely not as whitewashed as as some of the games, but the games are made by what is it?
Project Red, CD Project Red.
And they're based out of Sweden, which is it's a Swedish book, and so but the Netflix series is definitely has more color.
Right. Yes, that's what I mean. It's got more.
And I think, and I
also like
I don't think they mean it. Not
I mean,
early.
look, wait. It's a story about a 7-foot tall white dude with white hair who's sterile, who hunts monsters as a hero, is disliked but bangs the ladies, right? I mean, that's in 3 episodes. I'm like, I've got this. I've summed this up, right? And maybe he'll save a princess or two. Pretty much every episode, he's saved a princess. So it feels old fashioned in a way. So I wonder if the books are as old fashioned.
It is an older book. It isn't like the series started in like the 90s. I want to say
1890s.
I'm kidding.
I'm kidding.
Fair enough. Bravo, sir. I saw what you did there. I mean, yeah, right. I think it started in the mid 90s. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to.
I mean, listen to it. I'm just curious as to whether or not it because I want to read them as well. I'm curious because I like fantasy books. I'd love to pick up a fantasy book.
I get where you're coming from, and I want to enjoy this. I just have to look at it in the sense of like kind of looking at maybe the earlier D&D stuff as well. That kind of stuff is also kind of very whitewashed, very, very, yeah. I get what you're saying, and I want to see it. I think I'm going to put it in that retrospect because a lot of the D&D stuff was here in the U.S. and that was a choice. Sweden was very white.
Still is.
And so it's not that I don't want to say that they didn't make that as a choice either, but like it's obvious for them. Here in the US, we've had color for many years and it was a choice. So there we go.
Fair. You're holding them to a different standard. I totally understand.
I'm trying not to. I want to enjoy it. I think their choices in the show so far have been pretty good. Again, by the 8th episode, a lot of powerful women. A lot of good choices.
It's weird though because they're powerful, but they use their power to manipulate, not to fight, right? So there's a right which ladies manipulate, right? So that's it's problematic, I guess is what I would say.
Yeah,
and I think that's where my partner. I don't want to speak for her, but I think Chief was like another fantasy show where the ladies are witches and the men hunt monsters, right? It's just
men can be witches too,
huh?
Men can be witches too,
but.
I'm just saying, like, and I know, but the ladies.
Again, you're picking at the example rather than the point, right?
Right. No, I get it. I think, right. So the witches are definitely like they're almost concubine-y in a way, but that role breaks by the end of it, or at least.
I'm excited for that then.
So there is some story element to that you're like, oh, so. But yeah, I'm excited. I think they didn't know how popular it was going to get, which is weird. But we're not going to get the next season until 2021. So that's because Mr. Handsome Henry, he's got other obligations most likely. I mean, this is he's Superman. Right.
How do you have Superman on a direct to video essentially?
Let me pontificate a little bit on that. I'm excited for this. I'm happy for him. Mainly because I have been a big fan of Henry Cavill for a very long time. His Man of Steel. I'm a DC fan. I like the DC universe. I liked Man from U.N.C.L.E. I liked the Mission Impossible. But not everyone did. And I feel like Henry Cavill might have been in like not a dark place, but definitely one of those scenarios where he was kind of getting shit on by everybody in the critics. Every role he took didn't get the high marks that I think he was trying to put towards. Like he played the schmarmy characters, he plays the tough characters, he plays the villains, he plays Superman, and no matter what he played,
he wasn't getting the Dwayne Johnson sort of the other action movie star bona fides.
He wasn't getting the praise, like because the movie.
His mistake was his name's not Chris.
His name's not Chris.
He should have been
Chris Cap.
That's what his name should have been. Then he would have been given all the love if his name was Chris as well.
That's right. If his name is Chris, because we've come to the conclusion that the Chris's
right now dominate the action movie world. Right? Yeah. He's also a really handsome guy. Like maybe too handsome. Maybe like aggressively handsome.
He's definitely got that aggressive vibe, which I kind of dig.
You kind of dig. It's confessions here in the last 2 minutes of the show.
I mean, I don't know. He's got that face where when he makes a mad face, you're like, ooh, show me more.
Don't say.
No, I dig it.
Come rescue me, Superman.
I-
Come rescue me.
Henry. By next episode, you'll be singing the song. The Bard song.
That was in the second or third, but yeah, no, I've already got it stuck in my head, and even now I'm thinking of it in terms of like pop culture references.
It is. It's already everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's been
A
great.
lot of good memes came out of it as well. So
it's going to be hard for me. I was going to play the game, but I like that the PC version of the game already has a mod to change his face to look like Henry Cavill.
oh really?
So I might just do that. I might load
I'm ready to go. Like who? What a beautiful, wonderful world. Starting in 2020, that's the way I'm going to approach it. Because we might not last till 2021, right? What a beautiful, wonderful world for as long as we have it.
Yeah, man. I hope everyone's having a good begin 2020. Tell us in the comments. Tell us how you had a good good
What you got
holiday
for Christmas? What you want us to talk about in the coming year? Things like that. We got to get our name tags up. I don't know what Joe did with our name tags.
Yeah,
we got to get the banners set up. What's going on? Now that I'm through the fourth quarter, I'm excited to. Oh my god,
So,
what am I looking at here?
So there's the face mod. So they gave him the Henry Cavill face.
Oh Jesus, sweet baby Jesus, that's horrifying.
The Witcher 3 incredible mod lets you play as Henry Cavill. So there you go. It's the Witcher 3, but as Henry Cavill.
I like how they immediately started by being like, "Hey, you can play as Henry Cavill in the bath. Just play
That's
that."
the intro to Witcher 3.
It's all they care about is the bath scene. They could have started here. They didn't have to start with the bath scene.
The bath scene is great. I mean, there's a statue. You can buy the statue, but there he is, man. Like that's weird to see it like in the game.
That's creepy.
Yeah, but that was back on April 15th. So this is pre the show. As soon as he was announced, someone had already like modeled it.
A day later had modeled it. That's bonkers.
So
World, I don't know if you've tried how many new style board games you've tried. Everyone mentions Ticket to Ride as a great intro to the new style board games. I like cooperative games, and I would look at Pandemic, or if you have a decent board game store nearby, check out The Captain is Dead. That is an excellent cooperative game. 7 players, good spread. Everyone works together to save their ship from disaster, and it's a great way to get introduced to all the sort of new kinds of mechanics that aren't Monopoly and Guess Who and things like that. So
one of my games for that style, the Euro style, if that's what you want to call it, the Euro style, which is, I guess that is the proper term, right? Euro style. Seven Wonders is always a good one to kind of jump in. 7 Wonders is
great, and that's fast too. Once you learn how to play it,
so you can pick that up at Target. It's always there. 7 Wonders you can play. I think minimum players is 3 on that, 3 or 4.
3.
You have to have 3. And that's a great. You pick a wonder in the world, and you kind of develop the civilization, and you're harvesting crops and whatnot. So
and you're competing against everyone else who has their own wonder, and there's give and take and trades. It's all drafts. And what I love most about that game is when you have 7 players around the table, it goes as fast as if you have 3, because it's just a quick draft. Pick a card, go. Pick a card, go. And once everyone knows how to play, it speeds right through. 7 Wonders Duel, which is a 2-player different box, very small. Excellent 2-player game. If you could pick that up, if you're looking for someone to play with, or you have one other person interested in board games.
Suro is always a good one.
Suro's a great one. Suro's great to put down all the time.
And what's great about that one is that one looks like a more adult game than it is. Like it
scared me away many times.
Yeah, but then as soon as you put it out, and you're like, oh, and so yeah, it's a fantastic game.
And that's like a 10-minute commitment. It's a great game.
Yeah, very quick 15-minute round, at the max, and it allows you to play multiple rounds. So that's the type of games I like. I like playing 30-minute games, 15-minute games, which allows you to play multiple rounds.
I'd rather lose 6 games in 4 hours than play only 1.
Right.
Unless it's Dungeons and Dragons, which I'll play all day.
Or the occasional big strategy game. We've got a friend, Amar, that goes with us to PAX, and the story goes he's a big fan of the war games, and every year he picks up what's the big French battle game that he picks up?
A Napoleon Battles game, and I mean like
battle game. He picks
forever.
it up at the game checkout. So if you go to PAX East, that's what we suggest going to one of the PAX games. They have a big board game checkout. You basically walk up, they scan your badge, they give you a board game, and you can just play a game. Just go and check it out. You basically check it out.
Local,
sit out
actually, you know what? Local cons are great for that as well. I mean,
Local
all the local cons have that.
go look at your go to your local, go look up a local board game shop, some sort of game, and they usually have like copies of games there that they sit down like on Saturday afternoon and they allow you to play it.
And it isn't just Magic the Gathering or Pokemon cards or the latest collectible card game. It's usually some great board games out there.
Deeper games.
We talk about the golden age of video games right now. Golden age of board games is happening right now.
Yeah, it's I've never seen it as big. Kickstarter is always great about that. If you go to Kickstarter, it's like 70% board games and 30%.
I think it's their biggest dollar maker. I should ask my friend who works there if it's where they make their most money is board games.
Just because it's a way for anybody, any geek who's got an idea to kind of put it onto a board game, and they're able to fund it. And if it funds even just enough for the printing, they can get out a small printing, get it out to people, and then that becomes a no more printed game. Then people want it, and it becomes in demand. The company then gets more.
It appeals to that obsessive compulsive behavior of the nerds that they must have them all. Zombicide, and I think Cool Mini or Not has really capitalized on that kind of like crazed frenzy of having to have every single piece for a board game, even if it literally never hits the table. I have one of those games downstairs in my basement. I'm like, why did I do this? And I just got crazy and bought it.
So other game that we played for years, and we still crank it out occasionally. Sentinels of the Multiverse.
I got the big final collection. I mean, like it's like a Ford Focus. It's so big.
That's right. So this wonderful game, Rolls, and we're talking directly to you because you asked about it. Sentinels of the Multiverse. Check it out. What's great about this game? It's a superhero co-op game.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you get 4 of your friends. You all go through this box, and our copy, the copy that Pedro has, is a giant box with like every hero. But essentially, you get a box, and your hero that you play, they're all very archetypey, like Marvel, DC style, like Iron Man. Or
you have a Flash, you have a Superman, you got the Hulk.
But they're not. They're their own universe of characters with good backstory, and they all connect, and they've got all the issues. It's very comic book style.
Mm-hmm.
What's great? Pick your deck, and your deck is your entire character, like, and then you've got a card that tells you your abilities, and then every person on the table's got their own hero, and then you play a villain. So the villain sits out front, so you're attacking the villain, and
you're all working together.
The best part about it is the type of hero that you are. Some heroes benefit from being with other heroes, and some of them don't work well at all. So sometimes you might have a character like a Batman character, and then you've got a character that's a mystic, and they don't work together because they don't have anything that play off of each other. But some of them have like speed boosts, and a Batman character would work very well because you can like speed things up, you know, give abilities, buffs.
There's like support classes and tankies and things like that. And then there's bosses that a tank might never succeed against, right? So there's a little bit of figuring out how the game plays. That one, you know, I love that one, and I love that I own all of the cards for it. I would recommend you get the iPad app for it because it's by Handlebar Games. It's the greatest board game transition app, I think. It's perfect if you have an iPad. I think they actually have an Android. I think it's on Steam. It's an excellent transition. They're at PAX East all the time.
Yes,
but it's the perfect way to learn to play the game. It's a card shuffling game, so boop, play it on the iPad and you're good to go.
Yeah. If you can get that iPad maybe on a TV or something or whatever, or I think they have it to where you can have multiple versions of the apps and link together, right?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't kept up on it that much again, but it's on Steam. There you go, Game Store. Check it out, man.
Yeah, go
play
check
some
it
board
out.
Games. Play some board games.
We're always freaking out board games. We like it. All right, guys, we hit that hour mark 7 minutes ago, but it's been great talking to you. It's the first show of 2020. Like, subscribe, share, please. Let's get this going. 2020, the year of flying cars. It's gonna happen. I believe it.
Or a terrible world-ending crisis. Who knows? We'll be here not reporting it because we're too busy playing games.
Right? We play games, guys.
Be kind, everyone, into 2020. Thanks a lot.
Love you. Take care. Episode 58 in the can. And I'm going to do this, and go.